Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commons. I'm LD Demola, and to my left,
Maya Siobhan.
Emma LaRouche.
And you're Suji.
that's your church.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen.
You're not welcome? Boy.
That was a
Sorry. Man. Today's episode, honestly, I don't even know why we talk about relationships this much, but it seems like this topics that we wanted to talk about. Ambition and relationships. Ambition and relationships. I'm kind of the one that brought up this topic because I fight with it constantly. I'm going to let everybody speak, but I just wanted to mention why I brought it up. A lot of times individuals have goals, right? And relationships, goals are individual, relationships are partnerships. And a lot of times, well, for me at least, my mind is usually focused on the goal, and relationships sometimes become I don't want to say a ball and chain, but they slow down the process to getting to that goal, right? So I don't know if anybody else experiences this. I don't know if it's common. I know I experience it a lot. That's why I brought this topic up. But do you guys have any experience with that? Do you think it makes sense? How do you think you counter that? And things like that.
Well, I think it has to do with, if you look at the people involved, like, one's going to school while the other one is taking care of the home. If someone's pursuing something, if it's opening a business, building something, a career, something that will help them together in the long run, then I feel like you have to find like help me, somebody who can, all right, I'm gonna put my stuff aside for the betterment of the relationship. I think when the relationship goes in front of the ambitious spirit, just whoever it is, male, female, I feel like that's when then it becomes the ball and chain, or it becomes a hindrance, or it becomes like you slow down. For myself, like I think, pursuing a career with someone, you really have to make sure that the person that's in your life understands what you're looking to do, has a clear picture as to what's going on, so that they'll know what they can and can't deal with in the long term. And then you as a person have to understand the balance of it. In 24 hours, you may spend 18 of those hours pursuing your career, but at least give the person, enough time, an hour, 2 hours, to just the relationship. But majority of the time, for a time frame, is for this focal point. And I think in a relationship, like, two people have to understand that. Like, it's important. Like I've seen couples where, my friend just got her doctorate, and like she got married, she has 2 boys, but her partner is like ride or die. Like, whatever you need until you finish his dissertation, like now we're celebrating. Now we can buy the home and do all these things. I mean, they're homeowners, but it's more like now we can get a bigger, blah, 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 because of that time frame devoted to the doctorate. So I feel like it has to do with the partnership.
I think that it's a great thing to have ambition. I think that needs to exist in one's life if you are trying to get anywhere in life. But I think having ambition does not mean that you should be clueless to the other person's needs and feelings. I always say this: if your goal is to get somewhere in life, if your goal is to attain something, and you know that being with someone is going to affect that process, then maybe that moment is not the right time for you to be in a relationship. But I also say that if you're in a relationship, you got with this person, and all of a sudden now you have this ambition about attaining this goal. It is very important, like Maya was saying, that you communicate to that individual, or this individual is aware of what it is that you are trying to do. Because I think when people don't have a clear understanding of each other's goals and ambition, that's when usually the problem comes about. But at the same time, just because you are wanting something or seeking something doesn't mean that that's what it should be all about. Now, if we're in this relationship together, we have to communicate about it. We have to work our schedule accordingly. We still have to dedicate time to ourselves. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me supporting your goal and you supporting my goal. And I think sometimes also the problem becomes is when only one person is extremely ambitious and the other person is just
Hanging on.
following on and just say, okay. And it's like, to me, that's when even more problems come about, because you know that this person is just going to be there anyways, regardless. So you take that to your advantage. So it's like, regardless of how they feel about something, whether you're away for like months, years, whatever, they're just going to sit there and patiently wait for you, and they're not really doing much with their life. So your life is like the exciting factor of them existing. So to me, that's also another problem, but we'll go different. Another silent woman.
No.
The thing about okay, I'll tell a story. So my friend, we end up going to Vegas, and I'm staying at this guy's house, and he has like 4 bedrooms or so, and he's younger than me, and he's a homeowner. Obviously, he has he got a home, and I was just like, kind of like, I was very impressed. I was like, dude, like, you doing your thing, you handling your business, you got money, you got a good job, you drive a nice car, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a material person, but I do like nice things. So I was like, dude, how'd you do it? It's like, dude, there's no way I would have been here if I wasn't dating anybody. If I was dating somebody building this, unless they were like trying to build it with me. In his eyes, he felt as if me getting into a relationship with someone would have prevented me from getting to where I'm at this point in time. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because I don't think that being with a woman is holding you back, because Barack wouldn't be Barack without Michelle. So we know that. So let me just say that first. But at the same time, I do feel that at times when a man or even a woman may have a dream or some sort of vision, and oftentimes we get caught up. Sometimes we get caught up in love too. Sometimes we get caught up in things. If I'm a creative and I have a vision for what I want to do, and I see somebody else that we get caught up in love too, because we care. But the truth is, once again, I'm averting my eyes from my goal. I'm averting myself from what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I know my goal is X, Y, and Z, and you got me doing something else from what I'm doing, now you're distracting me from what I'm trying to do. So that's not helping me to get to where I need to go to. So, like everybody just said, it's either we have to be on one accord, or you're like, I believe wholeheartedly in your dream. Let's build this together. Let's start from the ground up. Because that's the thing, and we were kind of briefly talking about this off camera about being ready-made and all these other things. You gotta respect yourself, number one, as an individual, what you want, and know what you are, who you are, and what you want. And then at the same time, you gotta understand what you're looking for and what you need. And I'm a full believer, if you really want something, if you're really trying to attain something, and you're ambitious, God is going to provide, or universe, whatever you believe, is going to provide that for you, and put that as easily as dropping the person from Confantan to wherever you are, put them right next to you.
Where is Confantan? Where is Confantan? Where is this, bruh?
That's why you need to buy your house.
Confantan is right outside of Fiji.
Like, where is Confantan? I'm glad you mentioned what you
Everyone
mentioned. Being on one accord is important. I'll speak for myself. God bless my father. God bless the man. He went full out artist. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, whatever the case may be. He's a painter, and through the thick and thin, that is his life 100%. The reason why this is an important topic to me, maybe it's another paranoia, I don't know, but I sit down a lot and think, maybe again it's just me, I'm very entrepreneurial, right? I do love having a job, but I don't believe any man should exist without having his own business. something that you are in control of financially. Something. Doesn't matter what it is, right? And I'm always analyzing and looking out for how can we ensure that we make the right decisions and pass these decisions and these ideas down to the next generation and continue this cycle of success, right? Sometimes as a man, you have to, I'll speak for myself, you have to be stubborn because relationships are a great thing when you're on one accord, right? Or when there's one driver and a passenger, and this passenger is willing to be the passenger, right?
Absolutely.
Because without Michelle, Barack wouldn't be Barack, but Michelle had to agree to kind of be a passenger of some sort,
You have to.
right? Even if it was just because the fact is a man is going to be president or whatever it's going to be, but somebody had to be the passenger. I always say this though, I feel unsafe when I'm not being pushed
Right.
to
Great.
challenge myself.
That's right.
I feel unsafe. And in a relationship, if I'm not getting that, it's almost like I don't trust that because I come from almost the positive and negative side of that pressure, like you have to achieve. And getting older, I'm like, there's absolutely no way, there's no reason why you should not achieve because it is survival of the fittest. Also, the fact that I'm creative, right? My mind is scattered and whatsoever, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, now I know exactly what I'm good at, and I want to dive into this 100%. I have noticed though, that's a very lonely road for a lot of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Success that is engineered just by your thoughts, not something that you went to school and learned. Success, when you have a vision that not a lot of people are doing, you say, I'm going to take this road less traveled, it is extremely lonely. That's a very frightening truth.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to the CEO of my company, and I was like, he was telling me, you know, I wish I had my kid a lot younger. He's about 40 something, right? He's like, I wish I had my kid a lot younger. And I asked him, I was like, do you think you would be where you are right now if you had a kid early? Do you think you would be where you are today if you were in a relationship? Like, I want you guys to chime into because these are things that I think about myself. Sometimes I'm telling myself, I'm like, maybe you're just being too selfish. But there's a reason why you have this vision and it keeps bugging you every day.
I think that, you know, as we aim for success, it's absolutely nothing wrong with being selfish. You have to be selfish to some extent because if you're not selfish, then how do I put this? If you're not selfish to think about your need, your want, your desire, your goals, then you won't get there. And if you don't get there, then you start having regrets as to why you didn't get there. And I think also that it's very important when you do have a passenger that passenger is actually a great motivator. That passenger is someone that pushes you to the extreme limit. That passenger is someone that's going to keep giving you those encouragement that you need. Because as you go along that path of success or reaching for the success, there are going to be failure moments. And what happens when you get to those failure moments? Is that passenger going to be able to, be like, okay, let's bounce back, let's keep it going? Or are they going to be like, well, why don't you just forget it and do something else? That is also very important because sometimes the people that you have as your passengers can also make and break those moments of motivation for you. So I think that is also very key in terms of considering when you are in a relationship with someone, you also have to consider those things. It's not just about this person existing in your life with the companionship and the intimate aspect. I always say that, to me, ambition is a big thing because I am a tough lover and I feel like, of course, I said Serena, failure comes with success. So we're going to fail along the way. But if I'm failing and all you're telling me is, well, I told you not to try it in the first place. Why did you do it? Why don't you just do something else? Forget about it. You shouldn't be doing this in the first place. So if you have people that are telling you those things and you have a partner that does not really have that strength of ambition, that does not strongly feel like they can actually do that themselves or be something themselves, then I'm sorry to say that person is not going to be a great rider along this journey. That's someone you're going to have to get rid of.
True. I think it's timing, when you're seeking out something, to kind of piggyback off of what you said, like when it comes from here, you're the only one that knows about it, right? So you have to, manifest it. And then once it's out, then it's like, you already have the passion, which is why it's out. And then the person's around you, let's say you're dating, let's say you haven't solidified a relationship with somebody, but you have this vision, this goal, this thing you want to do. Yet the human side of you, you know, you're in the motion of dating, you know, so you're balancing life. So there's a time, you know, when the time is, who knows? But it's like, it's a timing aspect. It's you know, like I'm a songwriter. So if I write songs in the middle of the night, then I know that, or at random times when the world is sleeping, every artist knows this, like something happens 3, 4, 5 in the morning when the world is sleeping, that artistry something just erupts, you know, and your significant other, the person you're dating, has to understand that, you know. But at the same time, you have to understand that because you're the one with the passion behind it. So I think it's a timing thing. You have to understand, okay, it's a time for me to be selfish and to have a relationship with my vision first. And once you have like a true relationship with what it is you want, then it's like, okay, we have our thing going here with whatever it is. And then when you bring someone into it, you speak with such passion. It's like, wow, like they almost want to like, well, what can I do, you know, to help you? If it's me leaving you alone, if it's me, you know, making sure that you have your favorite sandwich or however you know, the things that you want. For me being a singer, like my past relationships, it's like when I'm on stage, I like people to think while I'm up there. So when I get off, like my shoes, the water I drink, you know what I mean? And for me, like once I get off stage, people notice me. Before, no one pays attention. So it's great. I'm like, no one knows what I'm going to do, you know? But when I get off, it's like, oh my God, so I need you to kind of facilitate, okay, no, you know, like what water I drink, my shoes, you know, collect my money, you know, things of that nature, to be a part of it if that's what you want to do, or I'll hire somebody to do that. But I notice for me, like, it's certain times that I write or certain times that I do things or like ideas I have, I may or may not share, but you have to know where you are in your ambition, if that makes sense. So like if you're in school, you know you're going to be studying, you can't spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? So is that the right time for you to be dating or be, you know, does your relationship almost have to take a pause for a minute? So it's like a weird kind of thing.
It's complex.
It's very complex, you know. I think also too, to also piggyback off of what you said, Emma, you have to understand that there's another person right here. And let's say you just decided to have an epiphany. Ooh, I want to start a business. And you've been in this relationship. It's like, okay, so because you decided to go buy some strip malls or whatever, our relationship has to take a back seat. You know what I mean? Which stems back to time. So I feel like you have to understand what your partner, you know, in marriages, it's like, okay, we're together, you know, and it's like, you know, I really want to pick up my guitar again. It's been in the garage, blah, blah, blah.
I'm talking about that deep one, though.
I'm
talking about that deep one.
I think also, you know, when you look at it in terms of relationship and in terms of marriage, it's completely different too. Because in relationship, you can just be like, forget it, I'm out. In a marriage,
people do that to marriages.
People do, but it's not. It doesn't happen
as quick. I mean, yeah.
Because you have to go through a divorce process, and
Right.
that's another
Separation
stress
You have to do separately. You have to leave. You don't have to divorce. Just bounce. What people are doing now.
Yeah, in California, the person doesn't have to condone like
That
divorce.
is true. But I think sometimes also, this goes back to what I always say. The foundation of a relationship is really important. It's really key that people know what they're getting in before they say, I do. If you know each other's goals, you've discussed each other's goals, you know where you guys are trying to go, you know what you guys are trying to build together. And I think also the mistake that some people make sometimes is when they get married. When you're married now and you're trying to establish a business, it shouldn't be my business. It should be our business, because your finances kind of not all together. Don't get me wrong. It can be your idea, your vision, your goal, but that other person should be able to support you, help you along the way. You have to kind of make that person part of it for the relationship to kind of have a balance. It shouldn't be, well, this is my business. I'm going to need you to understand that this is what I'm trying to do, and I need just, you know, to help with the kids, do this and this because I'm working on
Let me
this.
ask you,
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes,
I just pray to God in heaven, that I find one human being, one woman that is God invested in whatever the hell I'm doing.
I pray
Because
too.
let me just hope in
Thank you,
2016,
Brad.
I just pray
I
let's just start.
She's out there. No, it's possible.
No, they exist.
Just be invested in. I'm not asking you to be. I'm just
I
saying.
think it's actually
I
easier
wish.
for a man to find a woman that will be invested in your goals and for a
Not
woman
like-
to
He's
find
a
a
man.
No. Yes and no.
I
This
think
is,
so too.
okay, now let me
What
talk
is
about.
it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are women that absolutely will give a damn about your ambition and your goals, and be like, "Well,
Well,
fuck it."
that's selfish
You know?
anyway.
When I say invested, when I say the word invested, I don't mean just it's everything. Though. This isn't like, oh, I'm invested because he has it already, or he's 75% there, so let me help him 25%. No, invested means I'm at 15% or 0, and you see 100%, and you're willing to work with me. And not everybody's willing down for all that, and that's okay. But what I'm just saying is, when I say invest, it's all around investment into what I'm doing. And the reason why I said that is because I can just get on my phone and swipe Tinder left and right. I know that this generation, the mind frame of everybody here now is, let me find out how I can win individually. Most people. So if I can find somebody who actually gives a damn about what I'm doing, number one. Number two, is actually invested in my goals. And it's a mutual exchange. If it's Brasintilla, it's an exchange of me giving you something, you give me something back. Seriously. Then that's what I'm actually beginning to look for. Then all these other stuff you guys are talking about, we can do this one first, then we can discuss the other ones.
Listen, Chief. There's something about. I'm going to talk about the entrepreneurial side of it, right? We talked about black business before, right? We talked about financial black businesses. We talked about the fact that you're not walking into a bank and getting a loan, right? I talk about money a lot during the day because I know what most of the people I know want to do, but we have to invest a lot of time in what we do professionally, and what we want to do takes a back seat because there's no loans. There's none of that. So your money is your money. In a relationship, when I'm recommending things financially because of the ultimate goal, the sacrifices I'm willing to take. I mentioned it before. I don't drive a nice car because the picture is bigger than that. Right? I don't buy shoes because the picture is bigger than that. For my own sanity, because, hey, we know grown men. I don't know a grown man that wants to report to somebody else till he's 60 grand. I don't know one personally. I know a lot of the guys I know want something of their own, right? But explaining the male perspective of, hey, yo, my look, I'm willing to support as much as possible, but I'm willing to cut that cable if it's stopping the ultimate goal. I'm willing to not go on that vacation. My dude, am I joking though?
It's true.
Am I joking? Because we all know you can only become really successful, and I'm not just talking about finance. I'm talking about controlling your time when you own something of your own, business-wise. But a lot of people don't, I don't want to say a lot of people, a lot of times when you're ambitious in that business entrepreneurial route, it is almost impossible to get someone who understands the bigger picture.
Do you think you guys can sit at zero with a man? Do you think you can sit with him like you're willing to, like...
Yes. You ain't got to finish that.
Almost...
This would be my preference.
Wait. Let me finish. Not just sit with him, be in the car. Sleeping in the car with him. Are you willing to do it? Okay, that's what we're trying to say. Because the vibe I get from a lot of women is they're not willing to be uncomfortable to a certain extent for any nigga. Well, and that's the vibe. Not every woman, but that's the vibe I get is like, oh, I ain't doing that shit. He had to get that shit together. I'm just being real because
I'm talking about things like.
But
I'm not sleeping in a car. What I'm saying is, are you willing to suffer with me?
You should.
Right. Listen.
And when I say suffer is like you said, is cable. Suffer is amenities.
Right.
Are you willing to do that one? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Not too many women exist of that, of such character.
In this generation.
But there are a few out there. I would say I am one of them. But my problem becomes is when I am giving you that support and I am there for you 100%, and we are starting from ground zero and we're building as we go along. But then when you get there, you forget.
Come on, in here.
Where and how we started.
That happens almost
Empire? What is that?
all the time.
It happens all the time. Now that would be my problem. And you know what that woman will try to do? that woman will try to destroy you and bring you back to ground
Ain't
zero.
no try. That's her whole goal.
Exactly, because
her goal has now become to.
And some women might be that way because they have gone through the experience of helping someone get to a point, and when that person got to a point, now they want to act all brand new. So when they meet the next person that's at ground zero, they're gonna be like, "Oh no, been there, done it," and I don't.
I'm glad you mentioned that because
you know,
a lot of men are not committing because of that too. So it's on both sides. It is. Sorry, a lot of us who have a vision, like the guy who you're talking about in Vegas.
Yeah.
A lot of us are running away because I know how important for my future this vision is. Because I could be wrong, I could be right, and I'm a very logical thinker. I'm a Cancerian, so Cancer, so I don't waste money like that. I'm logical, but if I am not stubborn at this moment, we wouldn't be shooting this right now.
Right.
But I know why it's important for me to push that to the side and get this done, right? But a lot of us have to run away from any sort of relationship because it becomes a burden to a certain extent, because I have to explain how important this is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like at the end of the day, if you sorry to cut you off, but at the end of the day of what it is that you want, and you've acquired everything, what is it that you look for?
Companionship.
Exactly. So it's great, and like I said, it's a timing thing. It's great that you've acquired and you got this, and now you're alone. Not just alone, but like your skill set to even like get someone is so far from. It's actually at the starting line where you started from, and you didn't have anything. And now it's like, well, dang, like I don't really know what I want. So what happens is you meet the very woman that you shouldn't meet for men, because now she see what you have and who you are, and all other stuff doesn't matter. She wasn't with you during the climb up, right?
Same with you shooting the gym.
Right. So it's like now it's like, well, dang, how do you? Which brings me back to having balance and timing. There's a time to do it, and then there's a time to say, okay, when you meet someone, because we meet people in various ways, like especially when you're out there, you're grinding it out, and she's supporting you, and she's like, oh well, I know somebody that does this, and you're like, oh well, you know what I mean? It's all about like this is how we get there together. And to me, it's so much greater when you get there together, because now you have everything, and you have the helpmeet that helps you get there.
Thing. It's absolutely 100%.
Now, not to say that it's easy, but I feel like, like for me, you have to be around like-minded people. When I'm out and I'm meeting people, if we're not working out together, if it's not some sort of like, the city, you can introduce me to some people. Don't tell me who you know. I don't care about that. Who can you introduce me to? Like, can we go through this door? There has to be something about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? If it's not, then this is playtime. Okay, well I'll hit you up when I finish my album. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I'll get you a ticket to the album release party. You see what I mean? Because anything outside of that, like the fun part, I've had fun. I've had fun, and I'll continue to have fun. But it's not just about that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you have to be with me. Like, do you do financial planning? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you own something?
Why are you here?
Like I always, it's two words I use. Sorry. Asset and liability.
Yeah.
I promise you, somebody called me the other day and I said, are you an asset or a liability? I didn't even say hello. And he bust out laughing. Did not even know what I meant. I said, when you figure it out, give me a call back. Because it's true.
Time, energy.
Well, I mean, it's very important for people to know that. I always say, if someone is not adding any value to your life, then what is the reason for them existing in your life? And if all they're doing is taking away from you, and if all they're doing is being a distraction, then it's for you to realize what needs to be around you or who needs to be around you. If you're in a relationship and that person is just a distraction, it's absolutely nothing wrong with just dropping them in a heartbeat and keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just...
She be talking like humans is straight robots.
I mean, we might straight drop them. Because at the end of the day, honestly, are they adding any value to your life? Are they going to get you to where you're trying to get to? Do they understand your goals?
Or you
or all they
get
care about at that moment?
It's a thin line.
I mean,
Let me say, there's to me one of the greatest lyricists ever in life. Fonte Coleman says, I want a girl when I want a girl, and when I don't want a girl, I want a girl who understands that, right? Like he says, and that's some hard shit to explain, right? Maybe I'm just crazy, but since day one, I've been working for a long time. As a young person, I've been in the professional world for a long time, and I know my wiring. My mom is a businesswoman. She lives in another country. My dad lives in another state. He's an artist. So I am wired to be an entrepreneur. Luckily enough, I've worked in economic development and banking, so I know how not to make stupid decisions out of just, I want something business because it's a business name, right? But if I don't, and there's also a why connected to it, right? The why are you doing this? To me, I live in the United States of America. I was raised in Nigeria, and I understand the resources I have here. So it's like, if you're not doing this, you are failing a bunch of people. You are supposed to be that link. And when I think about it that deep, and there's something standing between me and that, it is almost like you don't know what sin we're committing right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I can't explain why I'm doing this, but do you want to look at the people that need this to be done? You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of selfish, and it's something that I fight with a lot. I sit down and I'm thinking like, are you just an asshole? Are you just mean? But I'm like, dude, there's so much that we've got to do.
I'm probably the most happy-go-lucky, playful, free-spirited person you'll ever meet in life. But when it's time to be serious and time to do business, I'm not fun to be around, actually.
Yeah.
You only want to be around, just go home, don't hang out around me because I'll turn into an asshole. I'm serious. I have to be that way because I realized when I was playing, nothing was getting done, and I wasn't getting things done.
Yeah.
Then when I switched up on and started for real switching, when it's time to switch, I knew that is needed to be that way for me to be successful. I have to be that way, or I ain't gonna get there.
And can I add to that too? Sorry about that. But another thing I've noticed is a lot of times it literally takes the asshole to actually get everyone to work.
Yep.
To favor them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, you'll be sitting down, I do this, trying to be nice, right? But you're like, okay, you know what? Screw it, I'm gonna go this direction. And as soon as you start going, everyone starts following.
It's like they waited for you to become that person.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, did I have to become this asshole for you to understand what I was talking about?
Exactly.
Like a Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I keep talking about this lonely thing.
Yeah.
They say it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
Right? When you are serious about that thing, and you know why you're serious,
you won't need to.
like, you become kind of lonely.
Yeah, kind of.
You see what I'm saying? Does it make sense?
It does. I mean, yeah.
You're going to be lonely.
I think
answer your phone. You can't talk to people.
I mean, true. I think that you should, as you seek something and you become this direct ass or whatever you want to say, you should be encouraging to people because you're that way. You know what I mean? Like because you made this power move, or you acquired this, or you sacrificed that, or you don't go out and you do this. There's people behind you that are actually looking at you and like, man, she did that. Like, he did that. Like, you're encouraging to me, and not just being an ass just to be an ass. You know what I mean? I don't like when people say, okay, I'm doing me right now. Okay, well, okay, that's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in doing you, are you showing us something? You know what I mean? Like, is it just you cutting people off just for cut off sake?
Well, I don't disagree with the statement of I'm doing me. I think that's just a way of them being blunt and honest about it. But sometimes people have to do that. You have to cut certain people off, even friends, because if they're seeking your time, what is coming out of that time? I always say if you wake up in the morning and you sit there and you hang with this, you hang with that, you hang with that, ask yourself, what has that contributed to your life? How has it changed your life in that day? What did you gain out of it? You know. But then and what people don't look at is most of the time you actually lose a lot of time. A lot of friends want you to hang with them and do this and do that, and when you start cutting them off, now you are the so-called
You've changed.
You've changed, or you think you're better now.
You know what I said when I said good.
But this is
And
what
you haven't. I say you haven't.
No, but this is me personally. This is what I say. I say this because it's as simple as this. when I am in need, we can go as simple as $1. And if you're not someone I can call and ask such a question, then I don't need
Like,
to
what's
be
your
hanging
point?
with you, and
Right.
I don't need to be wasting my time
Right.
with you. So for that reason, I am sorry, Phil, whatever way you want to feel, but goodbye. It's as simple as that.
I think
you
it's
know?
the way that you do it, because like I said, like when you start to acquire or you're after something. I just recently actually had to do this. Like, I already told this person, like, listen, like, I'm working on this, and I as an adult, I feel like I should not have to say it.
Explain this
Like,
shit.
I look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my whole motion in life is like, my 12-year-old son knows that. You know, like, oh no, mommy's doing this, that, and third. You know, he always like, Mommy, did you work out today, or what did you do? You know, because he understands. So for me to actually have to lay this out to this person, I'm like, dude, like, are you not? Did get in? So. He's like, hey, you know what? You know, there's a such and so going on. I'm like, okay, cool. Go ahead. Let me know how it was. Like, okay. He's like, oh, you're not gonna come through. I'm like, okay. Once again, I mean, no. And it took me a minute to respond because I did not want to be an ass, but I wanted to kind of teach him a little bit too, because I'm always trying to teach somebody something. I was like, listen, I appreciate the invite. I do, but right now where I'm at, it's all about this and that. I'm in grind mode. Grind mode means, I mean, I laid it out. I wasn't rude. I was I was direct though. And he's like, I understand, I dig it. You know, my bad. I didn't mean anything by it. Mind you, this is the third time I had to say it to him in like 2 months. Because I'm like, mind you, we're actually doing the same thing. Why are you trying to hang out with the hangout? You know what I mean?
I kind of want to take another spin of this. So because this also does exist. You have people, right? You meet them. You tell them about what your goals are, what your ambition are, where you're trying to go in life, and what you're not looking for. This is in terms of the relationship aspect. And it could either be maybe a man or a woman, but I think women do it more. And they'll say, oh, okay, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But then they'll continue to spend time with you thinking that you guys are actually creating a relationship. Meanwhile, you've made it very clear to them that you don't want that. And then they start investing their emotions and feelings into it. And then something happens wherever you have to go away. Or maybe let's say they got pregnant, whatever the case is. Now they start blaming you for the predicament that they are in. But meanwhile, you made it very clear to them from day one that you are not looking for anything serious.
It's another reason why we run.
You know, but then...
It's another reason why I'm going to say this specifically. I'm going to use my situation as...
And you
I'm going to use my
to.
perspective, right? It is another reason why, because it's... The thing I've learned, and it goes back to this boss that I talked about, his age, right? To get to a certain point, it takes time, right? And because I'm not 100% sure about the norms, but because I know what it takes to be in a relationship, I'm talking about time, affection, money, a lot of these things that I have to invest that might slow down the process of where I want to go. This is why a lot of the guy in Vegas, this is why a lot of us run away from the possibility of that even existing, because we have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to explain why I do it, right? And another thing is, I'm going to use myself as an example. Sometimes we have so many ideas, it's hard for even us to keep track of what we actually want to do. We just know we're ambitious. And the person is next to you like, okay, I know you're ambitious, I want to support you, but what the hell am I supporting, right? But then you get to a specific point where you know exactly what it is. And nothing can shift that, right? Like, it's so complex, but it's something that I'm sure people go through all the time.
I do also want to say this because I've also seen this happen. There is a difference between having an ambition and a clear, defined goal of what it is that you're trying to do.
Tell me to just quit rapping?
And having no, I'm not.
True, yo,
And having a bunch of ideas that don't make absolutely no sense that exist. You have people that wake up today, they want to do this. Tomorrow they want to do this. The next day they want to do this. It's like, make up your mind and work on exactly what it is that you want to start up running. You can have multiple businesses, but you have to start with one. You can't start with 3 all at the same time unless you got the money to do so. Now, there are some guys and there are some women that have ambition, but they have no idea of what the ambition is. They just say, I want to do something. I'm driven, I'm ambitious about this. So to me, it's like sometimes you as the individual that's dealing with that person as well have to know, you know, it's like, I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. They're great ideas and they're stupid ideas. I'm sorry, not every business idea is a great idea. So sometimes it's really good to analyze it, weigh it out, what the pros and cons is before you actually get into it. It's great to be driven, it's great to be ambitious, but have an idea of something that's actually gonna bring you success and power.
Like A's idea about the toilet paper coming from the street. He was like, LJ, I have this idea. You know what I ended up? I'm like, I want to tell everyone to come down. I'm like, what's this? I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say that person
is confused.
They need a director, but actually, that's probably a lot of areas of their life. Mm-hmm. You know, if someone, and I know some people like that. No, I'm saying like when you have all this stuff in your head, you know what I mean? And you don't have the connector to get you there, look at the other stuff in their life, and that lets you know what kind of relationship. Because people who are artsy, you know, we're all creative. You know what I mean? In our head, like there's things happening, but if you look at the rest of our life, it's kind of the same way. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm really good at this, or I'm not good at that, or I'm gonna keep this to myself. But people who are, I call them scatterbrain, look at their life. I'm telling, it all plays a part together, and then you have to evaluate. You have to step back and say, okay, how in the hell am I going to deal with this situation?
Because your relationship is going to be one of those scattered things.
It's going to be like, oh, I want to do this, so let's try this, or let's live here, and it's like
Sagittarius. What did you say?
No, but it's real. It's like you have Pisces because they're dreamers, and they want to do this, and the third. But
I didn't say anything about science.
Point is, you really have to look at that, and then you have to say to yourself, okay, where do I see this going in them many years?
Well, you know? If I don't see it going anywhere, I'm sorry to say,
get your toilet paper and get out.
It's not gonna change though. A person. The truth is, a person is not gonna change their dream.
They're not.
Yes,
No, there is a difference between having a dream and having an idea that makes absolutely no sense. That's my problem, though.
To you, though, because when Steve Jobs says, "I'm gonna make phones with no buttons," someone's like, "What the are you talking about?"
No, I get it, but you can't.
But he was a techie guy, so
right. But there are some ideas, though. You just know that, like, because I watched Shark Tank, right? Right.
That's a good one.
And there've been people that come on there, and I'm like, now come on. I mean, I understand the drive of being an entrepreneur and everything, but go back and think about another business idea. Like, seriously, there are some ideas.
Kitchen frogs. They like making. You seem like you want to say something.
I wanted to say a couple of things, but at first, because you guys are talking about how when you're trying to do something and you want the person to kind of support you or whatever you're doing. I know people have come up to me and told me, look, thank you. I'm like, what? Thank you for what you do. Once again, what the hell am I doing that's special? But a Nigerian kid, at that time I was about 21 or 22 at that time, 22, 23. And a Nigerian kid doing what I was doing it a long time ago. And people were like, this, thank you, because you make me, now I realize, now I know I can do other things. Wow. So I appreciate you, I appreciate what you're doing. So when you talk about it's bigger than just me, it's I'm doing it for everybody, because a lot of people are looking around. I'm doing it for myself as well, and not just because I'm doing it for myself for the other parts that come with it, but to show myself as well that there are other options and other things that you can do to be successful. And then oftentimes you'll have a situation like this, and let's say I wanted to be with a Nigerian girl. I may be taking this to another route, but let me just put that out there. Let's say I wanted to talk to a Nigerian girl, and I'm doing that back then. Now it's like,
no, don't. It's not.
Okay.
There's no money. Stop it.
Okay. So sorry, but at least I can even say back then there was no Instagram. There was none of those other things. It wasn't. You didn't really see people really winning yet from social media and internet yet. So I knew I wasn't talking to Nigerian girls, talking about no Instagram or YouTube what's, you're trying to be, who are you trying to be?
Comedian.
A comedian. That's even me, and that's how bad it is. I don't want to go off topic too much, but it's so bad that when you say it like that, I even feel something when I'm saying it to myself, and I know what I want to do. I feel like when I say I want to be a comedian, I'm like, oof, do I really want to do that? Because I'm like, I know what I was raised thinking. Because my mom would tell me, like, do you want to do theater arts? Do you want to do, when I was like 9. But I thought it was a joke because, you know, we're Nigerian. That's just you telling me that I need to be more serious about my mathematics. So the reason, no, seriously, that's what it is. So for me, I think that it's so many different layers to it. And number one, like you said, I have a big responsibility, not just to me, but to my people. And I also want someone, or I would prefer someone who understands that and who's willing to work with me on that. And a lot of times I notice that when I tell somebody that, the thing about it is I can get away with it because my personality, once I start talking to you, start asking me what do I do, or when I start showing you that side of me, you're like, okay, are you doing acting or something like that? Because I shouldn't say, but if I want to date with you, I'm being kind of reserved, you're not going to say that. So my point is, if they don't see it, and that's like, okay, because, you know, when you say I want to be an actor, it's like, okay, you and the rest of everybody in this city wants to be an actor. You want to be a singer. You and the rest of everybody in the city wants to be a singer. Until it's like, it makes sense. But there's somebody that you'll find that will support you and say, you know what, I don't care about all that. I believe in you and I believe in your abilities, and I know that you're capable of doing it. And for me, personally, that means the world to me because I don't really have too many people besides some of my friends that really believe in what I'm doing.
It's also really hard to accept someone actually believing in you.
Believing in you, yeah, it
Honestly,
is.
It
took me
it's a
over
big
there. It's like,
responsibility. Like,
whoa.
what the?
It took me. It took me a long time to, like, and I would meet people and they'd be like, "Oh, you're this," and I'm like, I've been myself for how many X amount of years, and I still don't know that about myself.
Yeah.
Because I've spent so much time listening to people tell me
What
you're not and what you can't do, and that, okay, you can do this, but everybody can do that. It's not a big deal.
Perception is reality. What people perceive is
But
what
I
that's
think
reality.
also if you as an individual is extremely confident in your talent, your role, then it makes a difference in others believing in you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when that lacks, it's like you kind of question it too. It's like,
You don't even say it loud. It's like,
yeah, you just give it to yourself. It's like,
Then it depends on where you are. Because if you're in a place like LA, people automatically assume
Yeah.
that you're an actor. I think I get that almost all the time.
But if your parents are telling you like this, like I would sing around the house, I sing in choir, sing solos and all that kind of stuff. I was acting, I was doing voices when I was 6 years old. I've been doing voices my whole life. At the same time, when you're told that's cool,
But
get busy with the math,
Yeah.
get busy with the science.
Mine too.
It's a different discussion.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had all the confidence in the world. My whole life people telling me, "Oh, you talented." That doesn't mean anything if you don't believe it in yourself.
Right.
It means zero.
Because our parents are practical people.
Yeah.
Because they come from a practical side.
And I don't
of the
want
world.
to veer too much off.
Yeah.
All I want to say is, you know, I just want I would prefer somebody who is supportive and appreciates what I'm doing, number one, and then understands. I think the big word here is understanding.
Let me add a little nugget to this and we can conclude. A lot of times in the black community, the person who supports that vision is not black.
It's real though.
That
Do
is
we really
so
wanna go there
sad,
now?
but it's so true.
Do you want to get that
Do we
realm?
really want to go there? Let's do this another day.
we
You opened
But
it. You
I
opened
opened that can of worms, but a lot of times when it comes to that zero,
Yeah.
right, to that bottom of the bottom, a lot of times in the black community, and I can understand why, because
No.
we got so many different layers.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when we hear things like people are gonna call me stupid, you're crazy for this. When you get on, you leave your ass for white girls, guys. A lot of times the reason why is because on that track, we were not the ones supporting them on that track.
I will kind of.
The same thing for black girls, because we can front front all we want, but if I see a black girl who likes video games, right? Chances are, the person who supports her to go on that trek is not a black guy.
It's Brad.
But can I just say something?
I'm just being real.
really quickly. I'm sorry. Let me just say something very quickly because I think it makes black men look very bad in this sense.
It makes
But
black men and women look kind of bad.
But this is the thing. A lot of people grew up watching O.J. Simpson trial.
True.
So, and I said it. Okay, we grew up watching O.J. Simpson trial. So, you see people like Grant Hill, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul. Number one, all were black women.
Yeah.
And Steph Curry, all were black women. I know I was doing a bunch of NBA players, but I'm saying it for a reason because this I feel like this era is a little bit different.
You're not using a good example because that's sports. It's not a guaranteed check, but it makes sense to stand by that a little bit. I'm not talking about that, Brad. You know what I'm talking about, son.
0 to 100, yeah.
Come on, Maya. Let's be real. Let's be real, right? You're a singer, and you said it in another episode before. I'm serious. When you get received as a singer, there's a different reception from people who are not of your color.
Of course.
Be honest.
Yeah, it is.
They're not asking about earnings.
Right.
They're not asking about anything
That
but
is true.
what you do.
True.
That they enjoy.
True.
That's it.
Sometimes I don't even know how to engage with people. Isn't that crazy?
I was gonna say when you said that other thing, and now what you just said. What I noticed, it's the means, right? Like we pinch to make things happen, right? You scrape to come to my show, right? Somebody, at your office gave you a gift card for Ticketmaster, right? You come to the show. Meanwhile, the other couples, oh, we're gonna have a night out. Let's go have a night out and hear some music. Boom, you go. So your life is different. The way that you view stuff is different.
Yeah,
so you're gonna go to the merch table, and you're not only gonna purchase a T-shirt, but you're gonna get a sweatshirt. You're gonna ask, when is the next thing happening? Where can I want to download your music. Where are you gonna be? Because your life is different.
But
then,
Mama, I get that.
but wait a minute. Now I'm gonna take it back to the supportive part, right? It's very, very hard to support when you don't have anything. The best support you could do is make some tea, massage. I'm being real. Massage me. How your feet feel. My boy. He work at the store. Just come through when he working. He can get you some shoes for your show, right? While Brad and all the rest of them, they got that nice silver spoon, or the fact that their skin color is different than mine. And it's my uncle owns the hotel down the street. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you like a reality thing. It's like, he owns the hotel that you can go and perform at in Beverly Hills.
To a certain extent, but
you see what I'm saying? Support.
I see what you're saying, but I think, sorry, just to kind of add to what you're saying, I think there is a little thing that we're leaving out there. Passion. I don't know if passion is appreciated enough maybe it's because we don't, maybe it's because of how, I don't know what it is, but passion is not respected as much as success is.
I have an X Factor that she's done.
I do agree with you on that. I think a lot of the time what our community looks like, the moment you tell them you're doing this as well, how much are you making? How much are they paying you? But this is what I would say about the support factor in terms of the relationship aspect. I think when a woman truly cares, whether it's a woman or a man, and they truly believe in you and they see the potential, and you yourself believe in what you're trying to attain, they will give you 100% support, even if it's little financial, even if they don't have it. Because I can speak from my personal experience. I have been a great supporter to whatever person I was with and who had a goal and who had ambition. If I can, I will. And if I can at that moment, I'll try my best whatever way I can and give it to you. But I think also sometimes what hurts people in terms of not even asking for the support is some people then come back and throw it in your face. So sometimes it's like, is it really worth me even asking for that support? Because I'm going to be reminded.
I don't like favors. Zero at all.
I don't call it favors when you're in a relationship with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when of course you're asking friends and people of that nature, it might come off that way. But this goes back to who you can say things to and be comfortable asking such.
I just want to ask something really quick.
Okay.
when I'm in the Bay Area, and it's not really a color thing though. If I'm dancing, and somebody comes to me like, "Oh, you dance? You're a dancer?" It doesn't matter what race they are, it's white, black, whoever. They'll be like, "Dude, you hella raw, dude. Where do you dance at? What do you?" It's different when I'm in LA. Everybody's trying to do something. Like, who are you? You're not special.
Let me ask you,
It's nonsense.
how about when that cake comes in?
But I was gonna add that one in there
Okay.
too. How
about when it comes to, you see how good I am, and you have the ability to send me to cash.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, exactly. That's different. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other races do it
That's
faster and more frequent.
That's true.
Let's not talk about
we
Nigeria.
don't do it because once again it goes back to we're always competing against each other. We don't like to see each other succeeding. We hate each other, and we're always.
I wouldn't go that deep.
It's,
Yeah, I mean, it's still.
no,
But it's
It's layers. It's layers. It's layers.
It's the reality of
You
the
don't-
community. We have self-hatred for each other, and it affects us in everything. Like, you can't be happy for someone succeeding. You can't see a talent in someone and be like, you know what, I know this person. Let me send you to this person. Because you know that person is going to start making money, and you don't want to see them in that. But
And then it's going to show how.
Don't give me the Nigerian side because I'll go into the country law. But do you
That's
guys
a
conclude?
different.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you want to conclude?
Yeah. I just think that I just like I said, I pray to God. On a serious note, I really do pray to God I find somebody that's that supportive.
You will.
That is willing to, listen to me and that believes in what I'm doing. Because the things that we're listing are multiple things that make it really difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just one thing that we're saying that you need for that other person to provide for you or give to help you with to succeed or for you to feel comfortable or feel like that person understands what you're doing. We're talking about multiple levels. And I never really thought about, I'm aware of it, but I never really thought about the dynamic of resources and race in this discussion, which is really important. But I really, and I wish we could have another discussion about the differences between, maybe having an African American woman or a Latina or a black one or a white woman trying to, or a man or whatever, the differences in support. Maybe there's a difference in the way they support as well. Because maybe we have our stereotypes of how Becky will support you in whatever it is.
Is that lemon?
No.
But to make a long story short, I just believe that the big capital word is understanding. And I think that if you understand the other person and you guys understand each other, then all these things that we're discussing will be fine. Where it doesn't mean we're not. It's not like we're some sort of elite group that just knows everything. There's somebody else in the world or somebody else I haven't met yet that's like, you know what? I see some promise in you. Let's do this. They maybe even say things that I haven't even thought of yet. So I really believe it's a level of understanding and matching that person to. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get a Michelle. Sometimes you may get somebody that you guys are both helping each other, which they probably did too, but each other build. So I think that should be the focus. And I just like I said, I just pray and I'll be so appreciative because I know what it means. Because I'll leave it with this. A good woman is great. A bad woman is bad. A good woman will take you to the moon. A bad woman lands you in jail or dead.
Here's another layer to that. She doesn't have to be a bad woman.
Yeah.
She might just not be the right woman for you.
Bad.
And
Bad.
Trust me.
For you, it's bad, bro.
Trust me.
Say bye, though.
It seeps deeper. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Just the truth.
Ambition is a great thing to have. Are you okay?
So don't worry.
And all my lip.
I think it's definitely a beautiful thing to have. It's something I look for in anyone that I am with. But I think what is very key to also understand, whether you're the person with the ambition in a relationship, is also have an understanding that the other person also has an ambition. It is very important for both people to understand what their goals and ambition are. And if we're going to help each other, we're going to help each other together. Now, I am not in agreement of being with someone who's a distraction to your goals and your ambition. If they are not contributing value to your life, I always say, even in a relationship, whether it's just a regular relationship, if you're in a relationship with someone and they're not adding any value to your life, there is no need for you to be in a relationship just to say I'm in a relationship. There has to be something of substance that person is contributing. It doesn't have to always be finance. I mean, that's not what I'm speaking about. It's just simple things. It can be a motivating factor. It can just be common sense intelligence. You know, it's a good thing to be with someone that actually has common sense than those that don't have it. And there's a lot of people that don't have common sense, but sometimes you also put the blindfold on that. But it's a wonderful thing to have ambition, but as you have that ambition, have an understanding of where you are trying to go. Have a clear, defined goal of it. Don't let anything be a distraction. If you're not ready to be in a relationship, don't bring someone into it and waste your time. Sometimes the mistake some people make is they will be in a relationship, let the person know of their ambition, be selfish enough to use that person for whatever they can use them for as they are going along with their life, but meanwhile they really have no intention of being with that person. That's another layer of it as well. If you have no interest of being with the person, let them know what it is that you want, and let them be the deciding, let them be the person to decide whether they want to go along this journey with you, regardless of what it is that you already told them. That's my take on it. And in the process of it, please have respect for the other individual as well.
Respect my name.
Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on it. Well, I wanted to say, actually I saw this on Facebook. It said, if I leave your life and nothing changes and nothing's missing, then me being in it didn't bring anything to it. And when I read that, I was like, wow, that's deep, you know? So I'm going to kind of bring that into ambition in a relationship, because if we're in a relationship together, then you have things that you want to do, I have things I want to do. And we have to be of help to each other. You know, yours may be bigger, mine may be bigger, whatever it is, but I feel like you have to sit down, be, transparent as to, where you are, what you want, actually I feel like some of the stuff is kind of silent, because a writer needs peace and quiet, you know what I'm saying? A dancer, I mean, yeah, but or most of like depending on what that person's thing is. If a dancer needs, they need to dance. A singer needs to sing. Blah blah blah. So I feel like if you're an entrepreneur, then he or she needs time to think, or get inspiration from somewhere. So if it's monetary, if it's a spiritual connection or whatever, I feel like you have to be of some help to that person, and it doesn't have to just come from like one part of it. At the same time, don't be so if you're in a relationship, not dating, but if you're in a relationship, then you have to understand like that's another part of your life, the relationship. Granted, it may not be as big as what you want, because where your heart is kind of leading you to, but it's a part of it. So don't neglect it, because at the end of the day, when you've reached the mountaintop, you're going to look back and wonder, I'm here by myself. You're going to wonder, oh man, why did I? So I feel like it's a balance, knowing, it's a timing thing, it's a balance, and knowing, how to chart the course. It's a train that's going down the street or whatever. It has to go. It's a machine. And along the way, you may stop, you may need some more, coal, whatever you need, but the train has to keep moving, So that's my take on it.
I don't want to commit blasphemy. I don't want to use Jesus' name in vain, so please don't crucify me. But I always say every generation has its Jesus, right? Every generation has someone who sacrifices figuratively, sacrifices their life for the better of others. If Martin Luther King was in a relationship that did not let Martin Luther King be Martin Luther King, we won't be where we are, right?
That's good.
And the fact is, some people are called and assigned. It is not you, because the reason why you can't sleep at night is not because of you. It is like you have an assignment to complete for something greater than yourself. Majority of the time, those people who are called for those things money's the last thing on your mind. The money's just a reward.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
That's
exactly.
extra.
Exactly.
You need the money to get there,
Right.
but the money is the reward, and you never hear them talk about the financial accomplishments ever.
Right.
It is just, I've got to get this done.
You just gotta do it.
It gets to a point in your life where nothing other than that makes sense. It's a little bit stubborn, it is very selfish,
Right.
but when you know why
Yeah.
you're doing it, unfortunately, you have to do it, right? And God will never give you anything that you can't handle. If that person is the right person for that mission, that person will be there from now to the end, right? But when you are called, and you know this assignment, you have to take on that challenge, because no matter who's around you, no matter how much you try to mask it, it will never go away. And I'm talking about men or women, whatever the case may be. So I say that to say, ambition is a great thing. As they've said, everything is balanced, because even though I'm ambitious, I am very aware of the positives that a great partner brings, even if it's not feeding my direct ambition. I don't ignore the fact that, you know, maybe you bring a great family aspect to it.
Right.
Maybe you bring, you know, you bring a love that I didn't even understand, or I don't understand, right? But mama, you're gonna cry sometimes, I'm gonna be irritated sometimes, but until you stand in Nigeria and see what keeps ringing in my head, you can't understand why. Like, we gotta go this route. And I'm just using myself as an example, but long story short, there's one of the most important, to me at least, it's really, really important conversation to have, and we should have more of these, because there's also the financial aspect of it. One thing I will say though, I'm not a dreamer. I go to work and I get checks to support this vision. Like, no, for real. Because let's not even. I always say, whether we scuba dive or we Uber drive, is gotta get that finance to support this dream. You know,
Right.
so
Real
get
talk.
your cake, but be ambitious. And long story short,
Yay!
I love you.
Love you too. And this.